guys, I want to keep this video kind of short because I've got lasagna that just came out of the oven and I am hungry. But I gotta do this video first. So, you know, one game that I really haven't talked about as far as all the anime related games that's coming out this year, such as Storm 2, Raging Blast 2, and all the other stuff that's coming out in Japan, was a game for the PSP called Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team. Now, why I haven't really talked about it was I just wasn't interested in it, simple enough. Because when it was first announced alongside Raging Blast, I'm like, oh wow, another Dragon Ball Z game, you know, yay, we didn't see that coming. I mean, the franchise is literally living off of these games, so yay. When I first heard that it was coming out, I was just like, oh god. But then I realized that it was coming out on the PSP, and the thing you have to keep in mind when comparing the Dragon Ball Z games on consoles to handheld is the handheld games, especially on the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS, actually I'd say the majority of the handheld games for DBZ are probably the better between the console versions. I mean, Legacy of Goku 2, Boo's Fury, Origins 1, Origins 2, Dragon Ball Adventure, Shin Budokai 1 and 2. I mean, personally, I think the majority of them are better than what the console versions have been coming up with for the last 3 years. Now, that's not to say that the console versions suck. I mean, I prefer the original Budokai series, the original 3, and the original Tenkaichi series, the original 3, over the newer games such as Burst Limit, Raging Blast, Infinite Worlds, you know what I'm saying? So when I heard it was coming out for the handheld, I was like, oh, this is great, because most of the handheld games are fine. But when they said that it was going to be a portable Tenkaichi, when they announced the English name as Tenkaichi Tag Team, I'm like, so is this Tenkaichi but with 4 players? Okay, how the hell is that going to work out? But when I heard that, when I saw that trailer, and when they say it is a portable Tenkaichi in your hands, they ain't messing around, you guys. From what I've played in the demo, Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team is everything we could have ever wanted from the DBZ games, the Tenkaichi series on PS2, put it on handheld form. And I think this is a great example to where like people bash the PSP saying, oh, it's just a portable version of a low-end PS2, you know? But in this case, it really does work. I mean, like, unlike the DS and the PSP are going for 2 different audiences. The DS is going for more unique games. PSP is going for more hardcore, gritty, you know, games you would have found on a console. And I think this is great where the PSP works out, because look at the control. The control is more or less similar to the PS2 controller, except, you know, there's something missing right here that should be right here, which should, you know, is on this side. So logically, it should be on this side. Come on, Sony. Dual analog sticks. We've been wanting it for almost 6 years now. Come on, Sony. Drop the PSP Goat altogether. Make a PSP 2 if you have to. I don't care if you put 3D gaming, just put a dual analog stick in a PSP, and I'm telling you, more devs would make for the PSP if you added dual analog sticks. That would more or less complete first-person shooters on handhelds without it being clunky, you know? But back to GBZ Tenkaichi Tag Team. More or less, the controls are like the PS2 version, you know? You charge with the L button, square is to punch, triangle is to do your energy blast, O is to block, I believe it was block, yeah, and then X is to dash to your opponent. The control stick moves your character. This makes your character go up, this makes your character go down. Wow, the light just changed for a second. You know, it just works. It's really great. It feels great in your hands. There's no real clunky feeling after the first match or so. And the 4-player co-op element to it was really interesting, because the thing is, all 4 of you are on the same plane, but you're fighting in different areas of it, like different parts of it. Like Vegeta and, let's say, Dr. Zero would be fighting, you know, higher than you, or probably even on the same plane on the ground, and you'd be fighting your character, and you can move all around the map. The map is pretty damn big, and I can't wait for it, because you can switch targets on the fly with this button. I had no real problems with the demo, except for the fact that it felt clunky getting used to this, but it's everything we could have wanted from Tenkaichi on a handheld. There's no bullshitting with the controls or the combos like in Raging Blast. They've got some pretty advanced combos in the PSP version. Like, I would find myself just like pulling off a 50-hit combo. And what can you do in Raging Blast? Oh my god, we can do this gimmicky wall crash thing. Wow. So anyway, that's all I have to say on DBZ Tenkaichi Tag Team, you guys. From what I played in the demo, it looks like it's going to be one of the best DBZ games out there. Awesome. I hope for online tournament battles, because that would really be awesome, and I just can't wait for it. I am looking more forward to this game than Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2. It's pretty damn obvious, and it is right up there on par with Storm 2. Actually, I'm a little bit more excited in this game than Storm 2, because I've always been a fan of the DBZ Tenkaichi games, and this one doesn't look like it's going to disappoint, because like I said, all the Dragon Ball Z games, the best ones are on the handhelds. Legacy of Goku series, Boo's Fury, Origins, Advanced Adventure, Shin Budokai series. So we're adding another great Dragon Ball Z game to the already critically acclaimed, in my eyes, of DBZ games. So that's all I had to say. These are my first impressions and my thoughts on it. So post your comments, response to what you guys think of the demo at first. I can't wait for it. So catch you guys later. And before, you know, the Raging Blast 2 fanboys attack me saying, how would you like this game? The graphics aren't as good as Raging Blast 2. Oh my god this, oh my god that. You don't get an OVA, which will be on the internet like the next day. Guys, look at what's coming in this game and look what's coming in Raging Blast. You're paying $60 for stuff that you've already had on consoles. But you're paying, what, $30, $35 for a new gameplay element that's never been, more or less, in Dragon Ball Z games, co-op gameplay. And, you know, perfecting, like, the Dragon Ball Z fighting style on handhelds to a T. Lined up, Raging Blast 2 or Tenkaichi Tag Team for the motherfucking win, okay?